Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Mead High School at Longmont. It's a Tri-Valley League clash as the visiting Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Mead Mavericks. I'm John Beltran, and this should be a tremendous game. They were here 1 year ago with the Mustangs when they came in hot and lost a low-scoring game to Mead, and that was in a non-league game. But now we're talking about two league opponents. The Mustangs, after having their 5-game winning streak snapped on Monday, 4-2 to Erie, are 4-4 in the Tri-Valley, 8-6 overall. And Mead is sitting at 2-4 in league play, 3-8 on the season. But don't look at that record. They barely lost to Holy Family, the number 2 team in this Tri-Valley, 4-1. So it's certainly a pretty solid Mead Maverick team coming in despite the record. All right, let's get to the Mustang starting lineup. Once again, they'll play on Saturday morning as well from Fort Morgan. And that'll be an 11 o'clock a.m. first pitch right here on B106 and B106.com. Not any changes there in the Mustang lineup. Batting first will be the center fielder, J.P. Hamer. The second hitter for the Mustangs is the pitcher, Jacob Ortega. Isaac Linker is batting third. The right fielder, Alex Ortega, hits fourth. Javi Becerra, the left fielder, hits fifth. Nick Norris, the first baseman, is batting sixth. Batting seventh is Connor Fajardo. And Isaac Linker at short, by the way, not at second. Connor Fajardo is batting seventh. Austin Apple eighth, and Nick Beltran, the second baseman, is hitting ninth. Defensively, Ethan Watkins at first for Mead. The second baseman's Ryan Platt. Over at third is Brady Beltine. The shortstop is Nick Jacobs. Around the outfield, Tanner Lees is in left. The center fielder is Caleb Ayers. And right is Lane Goodrich. Behind the plate, Ryan McDaniel. And on the mound, right-hander Wyatt Citizen. Citizen is on the mound here for the Mead Mavericks. And should we have any signal issues, we do understand there's some internet issues here. Opening pitch brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance and Brush in Fort Morgan. We'll certainly make our adjustments along the way. J.P. Hamer leads off, coming off a 4-strikeout game against Erie. And the pitch from Citizen is a fastball for a strike on the inside corner at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Hamer, Ortega, and Linker here in the top of the first inning. Beautiful day. Temperature in the 60s in Longmont. And the offering. And the breaking ball is upstairs, and the count levels at 1-1. Here to J.P. Hamer. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the offering swung on. That ball is lifted foul and out of play. 1-2. Ethan Watkins at first. Ryan Platt is at second. Brady Valtine is the third baseman. Nick Jacobs at short. Tanner Lees is in left. Caleb Ayers in center. Lane Goodrich in right. Ryan McDaniel behind the plate. And Citizen with a 1 ball, 2 strike count here to J.P. Hamer. Here's the wine and the offering. And that is inside. A little bit low. Took something off of the count. Is at 2-2. Mustangs dressed in their camo uniforms and Mead in their home whites with the burnt orange lettering. 2-2. Wine in the offering. Swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. That could be trouble. That is going to drop for a base hit for J.P. Hamer. Didn't hit it hard, but placed it in the perfect spot. And the Mustangs have a runner aboard. And that'll send up Jacob Ortega. Ortega sitting 356. Only 3 Mustangs had base hits against Erie. Javi Becerra had 3 of them, and that ball's in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Ortega, just underway from Longmont. Game number 15 for the Mustangs. Game number 12 for Mead. The stretch by Citizen. And the 1-0 runner going. That's in the dirt. That skips to the screen. Now Hamer is just going to stop at second. Yeah, I don't think he knew that the ball went all the way to the screen. It's 2-0. So it scored a stolen base for J.P. Hamer. 2 balls and no strikes. On deck is Isaac Linker, the stretch. And the pitch to Ortega. That is a fastball, a strike. Ooh. Boy, the extreme outside corner there. Count is now sitting at 2-1. Hamer leads off of second. The Mustangs looking for the first run of the game. Open stance for Ortega in the offering. And that is low with a changeup. Ball 3, strike 1 to Jacob Ortega. Well, the Mustangs really did struggle to hit the ball on Monday, but prior to that, they were smoking the ball during their 5-game winning streak. And Ortega awaits the 3-1 pitch. That's a fastball down the middle for a strike. It's 3-2. And Hamer led off with a Texas League single into left center field. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the junior Jacob Ortega, the opposing pitcher today. The right-hander, Citizen, at the belt. And the offering, swung on and grounded left side, headed for left field. Jacobs cannot get it. It's a base hit. Hamer's going to round third. The throw's going to come towards the plate up the third base side. Ortega takes off for second. It's an RBI single for Jacob Ortega. And the Mustangs lead 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. And with Hamer's speed, he was not going to be thrown out at the plate, and Ortega went to second on the throw. And that'll send up Isaac Linker. Ortega drives in his 13th run of the year. Linker's got 14 runs batted in. And that first Mustang run brought to you by Cargill Mead Solutions, working with the community to make sure there are jobs for the members of the communities they're in. Cargill Meat Solutions. The pitch swung on, grounded, foul down the third base side. No balls and 1 strike, so the Mustangs with the early lead. And the scoreboard is not functioning here, but luckily it's functioning right in front of me. Like the one I have seated right in front of me. No balls and 1 strike. You can follow us pitch by pitch, iScore Central, the iScore Central app. And with the iScore Central app, keep in mind that's all free. Just search the Fort Morgan game. You'll find it right there, pitch by pitch. The stretch. Linker awaits the 0-1. Righty against righty, and the pitch. And the breaking ball is grounded foul again down the third base side. And the count moves to 0-2. Wyatt Citizen. That's Z-S-I-D-I-S-I-N. 2 singles to begin the game for Fort Morgan from Hamer and Ortega. And the runner goes. And the fastball is outside, throw to third on the hop, and the ball skips by into left field, and Ortega's going to score. That'll be an error on the catcher, McDaniel, and a stolen base precedes that by Jacob Ortega. And the Mustangs lead 2-0. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Isaac Linker. Now the bases are empty, so no RBI opportunity for Isaac Linker unless he hits it out. It's a big field here in Longmont. Winding the pitch, and the breaking ball bounces in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Enfield plays him straight away. Boy, he's got a huge gap, though, down the right field line if he can go the other way. 2-2 offering. Swung on, that is popped up into shallow center field. A long run still coming, ranging under it to his left, making the catch is Ayers. Caleb Ayers puts it away for the first out of the first inning. 1 down here for Alex Ortega. Ortega hitting .310. And I think Coach Langford and the Mead head coach discussing things. You rarely see that during an inning. I don't know what that's about. Either way, 2-0 Fort Morgan. And Ortega awaits the pitch. Swung on and lifted deep into left field down the line, way back towards the track, and that ball takes one hop and then drifts into foul territory. Ortega's around first. He's into second with a double. That ball kept tailing away from Tanner Lease, and it's the third hit of the inning for the Mustangs, and another runner in scoring position. That'll bring up Javier Baquera, second in the Tri-Valley in batting average, hitting .556, first in on-base percentage. And the Mustangs have 60% of the hits that they did in the entire game against Erie. They only had 5 hits in that game. Javi had 3. The stretch. Zittison looks back. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded to short. Jacobs has it on 2 hops. He tosses to first for the out. Advancing to third is Alex Ortega. As Javi always does, hits the ball hard, but that time right at the shortstop. That'll send up Nick Norris. Norris had a 2-run homer, hitting .367 against Erie, accounting for Fort Morgan's only runs. Zittison out of the stretch with a man at third and 2 down in the first inning. And the offering. And the breaking ball's a beauty on the inner half for a strike. Thigh high, it's 0-1. 19th pitch delivered in the first inning here by Wyatt Zittison. The stretch. And the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball stays high. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Nick Norris. And the offering in the dirt, blocked by McDaniel. Nice block by the Mead catcher. Ball 2, strike 1. 2 singles and a double. Stolen bases, 2 stolen bases. 1 by Hamer, 1 by Jacob Ortega. And also an error contributing to the 2 runs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Norris awaits. And that one is in the dirt. On pitch number 22 from Zittison, it is 3 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, at the very least, against all these teams in the Tri-Valley, you have to split. You want to get a sweep. They swept Frederick, got swept by Windsor. That's why they're 4-4, because there were 2 other splits. The pitch. That's a fastball for a strike on the inner half, and it's 3-2 to Nick Norris. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Off of third is Alex Ortega. Got a sizable lead, not being held over there. It really doesn't matter with 2 down, anything put in play. If Norris gets on, he'll score. The offering. And that is taken in for a called strike 3, a delayed call. But it is a called strike 3, a very late call. Norris, I don't think swung. I think he was called on the pitch on the inner part of the plate. Even Josh Langford a little bit perplexed. But that does it here in the top of the first inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 Mead error and a man left. To the bottom of the first we go. Fort Morgan 2, and Mead is coming to bat on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan with a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Ryan Platt is the first hitter, the second baseman for Mead. Center fielder Caleb Ayers hits second. The third baseman Brady Valtine hits third. The cleanup hitter is the shortstop Nick Jacobs. Tanner Lease, the left fielder, hits fifth. The catcher is Ryan McDaniel. He bats sixth. First baseman Ethan Watkins hits seventh. Wyatt Zittison, the pitcher, hits eighth. And Lane Goodrich, the right fielder, bats ninth. Defensively for the Mustangs, Nick Norris is at first. Nick Beltran at second. The third baseman is Austin Apple. Over at short is Isaac Linker. Around the outfield, Javi Baquera in left. Center fielder is J.P. Hamer. In right field is Alex Ortega. Behind the plate is Connor Fajardo. And Jacob Ortega is on the mound, coming off a complete game 2 hitter against Skyview. 2-2 record, 4.6 ERA. So he's thrown, actually he's more than 2-2. Let's check that record. I believe he's got 4 wins. Let me see what I was looking at earlier. I believe the ERA is straight. Yeah, 4-1 record. That makes a difference. 4-1 with a 4.6 ERA. And here we go. Left-handed hitting Ryan Platt steps in the pitch. And the change-up, a strike on the outside corner at the knees. It's 0-1. Fort Morgan with a 2-0 lead. RBI single from Jacob Ortega. Then Ortega scored on a throwing error by the catcher McDaniel. Swung on and popped foul and out of play behind the screen. And the count moves to 0-2. Nice facility. You got the C team playing right behind us. Two fields right next to each other. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. On 3 pitches, Platt strikes out and there's one down. I think he threw him a changeup there. It was up in the zone.
I assume so.
And he either swung just slightly over or under it. I couldn't tell, but there's one down here for the right-handed hitting Caleb Ayers, the center fielder for Mead. And Jacob delivers. Fastball's down and away. Coach Langford said today on 1010 Preps and More, which airs weekdays from 1 to 2 on 1010 KSRR, that when Jacob has his curveball going, he's tough to hit. And the 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a foul on the breaking ball. Way off balance was Ayers. It's 1-1. So not only did Jacob go the distance on Saturday, didn't throw a lot of pitches. So he's pitching on 4 days rest. Swung on and lifted towards center field. Incoming is Jacob Hamer, or J.P. Hamer, excuse me, to support his pitcher Jacob Ortega. And there's 2 down. He makes the catch. J.P. had to come in a few steps. And 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Here is Brady Beltine. Left-handed hitter. They go lefty, righty, lefty in this lineup for the Mead Mavericks. Jacob's throwing just 6 pitches for the 2 outs. And that is low. Took something off of that. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-0 Mustangs here in the bottom of the first inning. And the pitch. Swinging a foul off the end of the bat. Again, using the outside corner there, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 down and the bases empty. One ball and 1 strike to Beltine, the number 3 hitter in this lineup. Laying down the sign is Fajardo. And the pitch. And that is a changeup for a strike on the outside corner. Lots of off-speed stuff. And Coach Langford also pointed out today the defense has to be sharp for Fort Morgan. They don't strike out a lot of batters, even though Jacob has one in this frame, the offering. Swing and a miss, and a pitch down and away. Excellent location. 2 strikeouts in the first inning. And Mead does not score. 1-2-3. Let's head to the second in Longmont. Fort Morgan 2, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. 7, 8, and 9 for the Mustangs here in the top of the second. Connor Fajardo, Austin Apple, and Nick Beltran. They lead Mead 2-0 in Longmont. Wyatt Zittison had a laborious first inning, throwing 24 pitches. Fajardo hitting .250. However, he was one of 3 Mustangs that did not strike out against John Thorne of Erie, who fanned 14 in 6 innings on Monday in a 4-2 Erie win. The right-hander delivers to Fajardo. Swung on and lifted into the right center field gap. However, playing him to his right, can he locate the baseball? And he does, as the catch is made out there by Lane Goodrich. There's 1 down. I mean, he was positioned perfectly. Not even playing right field, but right center. I mean, there's probably about, I got to say about 50 feet between the right fielder and the right field line. When the right-handed hitter's up, that'll change with Nick Beltran on deck. Here's Austin Apple. Line in the pitch, and the breaking ball is fouled straight back. And that one is not out of play. In fact, it's caught. Enough trajectory. Excellent play by Ryan McDaniel. Boy, that was an outstanding play by McDaniel. It hung up long enough. It was about 20 feet behind him, and he made a routine catch. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Let's see if Beltran takes a pitch. Nick hitting .500 on the year. And if not, Jacob's right back on the mound, making for a quick game. Righty against lefty. That's a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. This is the only sophomore in the starting lineup. 2-0 in favor of Fort Morgan in the second. Wine in the offering. Swung on and grounded sharply on 1 hop, on 2 hops now to the second baseman. Throw to first for the out. Ryan Platt makes the play as Beltran hit it off the end of the bat. 1-2-3 inning for Wyatt Zittison on 4 pitches. Let's head to the bottom of the second. Fort Morgan 2, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. Jacob Ortega retired Mead in order in the first inning. Now we head to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Fort Morgan. It'll be Nick Jacobs, Tanner Leafs, and Ryan McDaniel. Well, Wyatt Zittison did a heck of a job after a 24-pitch first inning, only 4 in the second. Ortega threw just 10 in the first inning. And again, they've gone lefty, righty, lefty now to a righty. Jacobs hitting .333. They're hitting .252 as a team. Mustangs coming in hitting .312. Fajardo lays down the sign and the pitch, and the breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes to Jacobs. And the pitch swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. Count levels at 1-1. And both teams are looking for a minimum of a split. Minimum. You want to make the playoffs. You want to maintain a decent, especially if you're Fort Morgan, which has the better record. At the worst, you got to split. And that fastball's a little bit high. Ball 2, strike 1. Looked like that was just above belt level, but a little bit too high for the umpire's liking. And the 2-1 pitch. That's a breaking ball. That's a beauty for a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Kind of pulled the string big time on that, and the count levels at 2-2. And the pitch swung on and grounded left side. Linker to his right has got it deep in the hole. Long throw to first. That's a bullet, and retired in time is Nick Jacobs for the opening out of the bottom of the second inning. And that took every ounce of strength by Linker to get him out because it was a close play at first, but there's 1 down, and the first 4 have been retired from Jacob Ortega. And by Jacob Ortega, here's Tanner Lease. Lease is batting .240. Right-handed hitter for Mead. And the offering. And that one skips to the screen. Short arm that pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Mead has the mascot on the back, Mavericks, just the name Mavericks. The pitch in the dirt, 2-0. 2 strikeouts in the first frame for Ortega. Now he's got to come in with a fat one. Down 2 balls and no strikes, but leading 2-0. And the offering. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half, thigh high, and it's 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike. And the offering. Swung on and grounded sharply to Linker, and he goes down to 2 knees, throws to first, and that's in time. An excellent play by Linker on a hot shot, a 2-hopper to short. 2 outs in the second inning. The first 5 have been retired by Jacob Ortega. Here's Ryan McDaniel. Again, that's what Coach Langford said. The defense has been solid in the last few games, and it's got to be. McDaniel, the catcher, made a nice play behind the plate in the top of the second. Now looks for some offense in the bottom half. And the offering. And that changeup bounces away. Ball 1. McDaniel's batting .167 for Mead. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, and a ball tailing in the zone. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ortega gets the sign, the pitch. Swung on line and caught by the leaping Linker. He makes all 3 plays in the bottom of the second inning. A hard liner and a leap there by Isaac Linker. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Let's head to the third. A quick-moving game in Longmont. Fort Morgan 2, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan 2, Mead nothing. We've had 3 consecutive 1-2-3 half innings, 2 by Jacob Ortega, and 1 from the Mead right-hander Wyatt Zittison. J.P. Hamer, Jacob Ortega, Isaac Linker to begin the third. J.P. single, stole second, and scored on Ortega's base hit. So J.P.'s got to be feeling a lot better after what happened Monday. He was at .395 going in, but well over .400 before the game on Monday, but that's baseball. You lose it for one game, you come right back. And the pitch. And he swings and drills that ball into deep left center field, way back towards the track. And that one is up against the fence. Hamer around first to second. He's rounding second. Could be a play at third. The throw, the slide, head first. He's in there. It's a leadoff triple for J.P. Hamer. He's 2 for 2. Now, that ball was destroyed by Hamer. Very reminiscent of the 7th inning triple he had at Erie about a week and a half ago. JP leads the team in home runs and now leads the team with 4 triples. He had 3 coming in, which led the team anyway. Here is Jacob Ortega. Infield playing in at the corners and back in the middle. Zittison at the belt. Pitch to Ortega. And the breaking ball bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, Jacob would like some cushion when he takes the mound in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He can help himself as he did in the 1st inning. 1 ball and no strikes for Fort Morgan. That's their 4th hit. They had 3 in the 1st inning. And the pitch. Swung on line, but that's foul down the left field side. Got all of that baseball, but now that was reminiscent of what we saw at Frederick when the Mustangs had about 20 foul balls on the left side. Mobile banking on the go makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. Equitable Savings and Loan. Check them out. Equitable Savings and Loan. The stretch. And the 1-1 offering. That bounces a nice block by McDaniel. Went with a changeup. Ball 2, strike 1. Here to the Fort Morgan junior pitcher, Jacob Ortega. McDaniel lays down the sign. Zittison with the pause. And the pitch. Swung on line down the left field line. Is it going to be caught to his right? The ball is caught along the line. Tagging up is J.P. Hamer. He scores. The throw will be made off the cutoff, but nonetheless, Jacob Ortega with a 2nd RBI, a sac fly and a line drive. As the ball was caught by Tanner Leeson, Fort Morgan leads 3-0 in the 3rd. A little bit too much lift on that one. If not, it would have landed for a base hit, but nonetheless, it's a run batted in for the junior. Here's Isaac Linker. Isaac popped to center his first time up. Big road game for Fort Morgan. Line in the pitch. Swung on and grounded sharply. Foul. Boy, just to the foul side of the 3rd base bag, and it's 0-1. Yeah, that's Isaac's alley. He can go the other way. First game of the season against Brush, he had a 3-run double into the right center field gap, or a 3-run triple, I believe it was. So he can go the other way. But that pitch was up and in. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the stretch and the offering, and the breaking ball bounces in. Count levels at 1-1. To Isaac Linker. Oh, baseball got away on the other field and landed right near the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 across for Fort Morgan. Top of the 3rd inning. They lead Mead 3-0. Ortega, that's Jacob with an RBI single in the 1st and a sac fly in the 3rd. And the pitch. Swung on line. Base hit into left field and a fastball right at letter length and letter level. 5th hit for the Mustangs. Linker's 1 for 2. Send up Alex Ortega. He doubled in the 1st. Alex was stranded at 3rd. Tough to tell. That wind seems to be blowing in a bit. It's going to be tough to hit a home run today. Breaking ball is a strike. Down the middle, belt level, it's 0-1. To Alex Ortega, the right fielder today. He took the loss on Monday, pitched very well after the 1st inning. Unfortunately, it's that 4-run first inning that hurt him. And the offering, swung on. That ball is popped up on the right side of the infield. Let's see, it looks like the second baseman will call for it, and Ryan Platt makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Barely had to move near the edge of the grass. Javi Baquera grounded a short in his first plate appearance. He now steps in for Fort Morgan. The pitch, breaking ball's a beauty. On the inner half for a strike, it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Javi Baquera. Fort Morgan, in 2 1/3 innings, compiled as many hits as they did in 7 on Monday. They've got 5 in the game. And they've got more runs. They've got 3. And the offering. And that breaking ball drops in, but a little bit high. And the count evens at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 across, and 2 down in the third. Fort Morgan leads Mead 3-0. 2-step lead. Zittison, long pause, the right-hander delivers. Fastball, that's a strike. Belt high on the outer half, it's 1-2. Check that, I got 0-2. I might have thought it was 1-2 unless I missed the ball earlier. Either way, we got 2 strikes on Javi. Linker's going to take off, and the pitch is lined up the middle and caught by the covering shortstop. It was a 1-2 pitch. If Linker wasn't going, it would have been a base hit to center, but Jacobs was covering and caught it on the run. Boy, that's just bad luck for the Mustangs. Again, that would have been a base hit, but instead Javi is denied in the inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the bottom of the third. It's Fort Morgan 3, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. Let's move to the bottom of the third. 6 up, 6 down. Jacob Ortega's retired them all. Down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan with a 3-0 lead. And the pitch. That's a strike with a fastball down the middle. And the count evens at 1-1. The right-handed hitting Ethan Watkins. The offering. Curveball swung over and missed. That was a beauty by Jacob. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got a couple of strikeouts in the opening frame. Looking for his third right now. Against the Mead hitter, the pitch. Breaking ball down and away, and the count levels at ball 2, strike 2. Line and pitch. Swung on and popped into foul territory. Norris giving chase along the right field line. He's not going to catch up to it. And it remains at 2-2. Watkins hitting .238 going in. He'll be followed here by Wyatt Zittison and Lane Goodrich. I think Jacob wants that baseball I just threw. He'd like the grip on that one. Well, he's not going to get it. Stick with the one he's got. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ortega threw a no-hitter last year against Weld Central, 5-inning game. It's still early on. Swung on and popped up foul territory, third base side. Long run for Apple. He might have room. He reaches out and can't make the catch. It's up against the fence. And hopefully didn't hurt himself. He ran right into that fence, and he's getting up slowly. And boy, he might have twisted that ankle a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if he realized he was that close to the fence. Limping back into the field to play is Austin Apple. Oh, he's hurting out there, but he'll stay in the game. With a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Apple trying to walk that off. All right, so Jacob will settle back on the hill. 2-2 to Ethan Watkins. First hitter at the bottom of the third. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off the end of the bat to the screen on a breaking ball. Count remains at 2-2. Laying down the sign for Jardo, the pitch. In the dirt. Ball 3, strike 2. Critical batter here. The first one's always big in any inning. Leading 3-0 is Fort Morgan over Mead. Payoff pitch. That is a little bit low. Oh, man. Ortega's wondering where that missed. Looked like he got the knees. It was called low. Wow. Wow. Jacob couldn't believe it. I thought it got the bottom of the zone. Now the Mustangs at double play depth. Yeah, I thought it was a strike. Yeah, I definitely thought it was a strike. A borderline strike, but a strike. The pitch. Swung on line. Base hit into left field. He hung a breaking ball. And that's the first hit of the game for Mead. Wyatt Zittison drills it into left field. And just like that, a pitch not called a strike. And that you have first and second now with nobody out for Lane Goodrich, the right fielder. We'll have a courtesy runner at first. That'll be Andrew Young. And now the Mustangs got to play some defense here. Again, a 3-0 lead is not safe in this league. Fort Morgan at double play depth. Another right-handed hitter. You got a lefty on deck. And the offering. Down and away. Nice scoop there by Fajardo. Throw back to second, and a tag is applied, but late. Back in is Watkins. Ooh, man, that pitch was so close, but that's a reason you can't get to 3-2. You get to 3-2 on a hitter, and that can happen. The stretch. And the pitch. Fastball is up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners take their leads. Nobody out in the third. And the offering. Oh, that ball nearly hit him. Now that's the problem. Jacob's worried about the base runners. And now falling behind 3-0. And this is lining up for a nice inning for Mead. Can Ortega come back? 3 balls and no strikes to the number 9 hitter in Lane Goodrich. He was batting .333 though. And the offering. Down the middle for a strike. It's 3-1. Ball 3, strike 1. Big pitch coming up right now. Step off, nothing doing. Three balls, 1 strike. We'll do it again. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Three and 2 to Goodrich. Watkins at second, Young at first. 3-0 Fort Morgan, bottom of the third in Longmont. Ortega looks back and a time is called. Smart tactic there. All right, Fajardo lays down that sign. The stretch. And the throw to second. Beltran covering, tag applied, but late. Three-two is upcoming. Got to come in with one here. Ortega comes home. Swung on, chopped over the mound. The shortstop Linker is going to step on the bag for one. Turn and throw to first. Double play! 6-3 done by Isaac Linker. Did it all by himself. 2 down, a man at third. Tremendous defensive play. Linker's been doing it at short. 2 down for Ryan Platt. And Platt the first time struck out swinging. As he digs in against Jacob Ortega. And the offering. Rides inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Wide in the pitch. Swung on and lifted towards center field. J.P. Hamer to his right comes in 3 steps and makes the grab. And Jacob Ortega does a nice job and gets out of that jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 3 complete. Fort Morgan 3, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. 6, 7, and 8 headed to the 4th inning. Nick Norris, Connor Fajardo, and Austin Apple. Against right-hander Wyatt Zittison, the Mustangs lead 3-0. 2 runs in the 1st inning. J.P. Hamer got it started. A base hit. Stole second. Driven in by Jacob Ortega. He stole third, and the throwing error got him home. And then it was Ortega with a sac fly scoring Hamer, who tripled in the 3rd. Nick Norris, his first time up, struck out looking on a questionable 3-2. Let's see what he does this time around. Plenty of power from this right-handed hitter. And we have played 45 minutes of baseball. The game is moving along. And the pitch. Fastball is a strike. Ooh, boy, come on. Down and in to that hitter. That was, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that should have been the strike 3 called on Ethan Watkins. Same location, except a little bit towards the middle of the plate, even more of a strike. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball bounces in. Stopped by McDaniel. The count is level at 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. Here to Nick Norris. And the offering. Curveball drops in beautifully for a strike. That fooled Norris. He was out in front of that front foot, and he couldn't take the swing. Count moves to 1-2 to the junior first baseman. Awaiting the pitch is Norris. Here's the 1-2. Bounces to the screen on a fastball. Count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 to Nick Norris. And he awaits the offering. He swings and chops it left side in the hole. Jacobs, long throw from short off his back foot, and it sails over the head of the first baseman, backed up by the catcher McDaniel. It's an infield hit on a 2-2 pitch. No way they're going to throw him out. And Nick Norris has Fort Morgan's 6th hit of the game on a perfect chopper on the left side. That'll send up Connor Fajardo. He hit 0 for 1. Three to nothing Mustangs in the 4th inning. The pitch squaring to bunt, and he lays it down foul up the first base side. He stuck that bat out way too late. No balls and 1 strike. To Fajardo. Connor digs in from the right side. Norris with a 2.5-step lead, squaring to bunt again. Lays it down right to the pitcher. He turns. He's going to throw to first. A little bit high, and it's over the first baseman's glove. Up against the fence to third is going to be Nick Norris. It'll be scored a sacrifice with an error. I got to tell you, I think he overstretched. It was high. Watkins, I think, overstretched. Not sure to call that an error. It was a high. I'm going to give it on Zittison, but that was an overstretch.
No, it was a joke.
So sack bunch with an error. That way you do not penalize the hitter, Fajardo. Noah Getman will be the courtesy runner at second. And the Mustangs looking to extend the lead here in this frame. Yeah, it was a routine play. But unfortunately for me, it didn't work out the way they wanted to. And now RBI opportunity here for Austin Apple. Maybe 2 RBIs. And the offering. Oh, a check swing. That would have been ball 1. I think he tried to get out of the way. Instead, his bat went through the zone. It's 0-1. Apple hit that pop out to the catcher his first time up. Infield playing in at the corners and back in the middle. Nobody out in the fourth inning on the visiting side. Fort Morgan 3, Mead nothing. The offering. Curveball is fouled back, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Nick Beltran waits to hit next. Off of third is Norris. At second is Getman. Zittison, the right-hander, delivers. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and in. And Apple strikes out. 1 down for Nick Beltran. He's had limited RBI opportunities, but looking for one right now. The stretch and the offering. And he swings and lines it towards center field. And going back to third is Norris. I don't know what he was doing. Norris went back. The ball is caught in center. He should have tagged up. And Norris, with some awful base running, was several steps off the bag. That would have scored the run. So it's just a fly to center, and there's 2 down. Oh, that was awful base running by Norris. He was several steps off the bag. That was hit deep enough to score the run. And Josh Langford is not happy. And Beltran is 0 for 2. Yeah, if he goes back immediately, he's going to score there. Here's Hamer. Let's see if he can pick him up. And the pitch is outside on the breaking ball. Hamer singled and tripled and scored twice. Yeah, as soon as that ball's hit in the air, especially the outfield, you got to go back. And Norris was just kind of like waiting for the ball to drop, and it was caught out there by Ayers. And the offering. That's a fastball, a little bit high. Well, Mead had their opportunity with 2 on and nobody out. In the bottom of the third, did not score. The same thing might happen to the Mustangs here in the fourth inning. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. And that is down and in. 3-0. Hamer certainly wants to hit. He might have the hit sign. No, he's going to have the take sign here. 3 balls and no strikes to Hamer. Runners take their leads. And the offering. That's a fastball for a strike on the inner half. It's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Norris off of third. Getman at second. The stretch. And the pitch. And that ball hit him. Or was it ball? Well, no, it did not hit him. Apparently off the glove. Okay, it was still a live ball. It hit something. Nonetheless, it was either be a hit by pitch or ball 4, and it's going to be ball 4 officially. And the bases are loaded for Jacob. And if you're Jacob, lay off that up and in pitch. He's susceptible to the up and in. When he lets that pitch get to hand level or below his hands, he's lethal. And he's got a huge alley down the right field line now. They're playing him to pull. Tanner Lease is almost hugging the line. That's where Jacob hit it last time for the sac fly. The wine and offering. That's a fastball a little bit low. Well, that's the same pitch that was called a ball on that 3-2 that was thrown to Watkins. 1 ball and no strikes. At third is Norris. Getman at second. Hamer at first. The wine and the 1-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle for a strike. Mustangs have stranded 2. Mead has stranded 1. Pitch number 60 there for Zittison. And the count levels at 1-1. And now McDaniel will pay a visit to the mound. Ortega will talk to his head coach, Josh Langford. Yeah, Fort Morgan at second and third. An infield single by Norris. And then a sacrifice bunt by Fajardo. But then the ball was thrown away up against the fence. That had second and third with nobody out. Apple struck out. Beltran lined to center, which would have been deep enough to score the run, but Norris was way off of third, never got back to the bag. By the time the ball was caught, he was still moving back to the bag. And now you have a walk to Hamer. 1-1 to Ortega. And he swings and grounds it sharply to third. Oh, it's stabbed over there, stepping in the bag. For the force out at third base is Brady Velteen, and the Mustangs do not score in this top of the fourth inning despite a valuable opportunity. For the Mustangs, in the inning, They do not score. They get a base hit. There was an error, and the bases were left loaded. They've stranded 5. 3.5 complete. The score, Fort Morgan 3, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Fort Morgan 3, Mead nothing. And the pitch. Fastball is up and in. To Caleb Ayers. He popped out his first time up 2, 3, and 4. Against Jacob Ortega. Home half of the 4th. And the offering. Breaking ball's a strike. On the outer half at the knees, it's 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. And the pitch. Curveball is lifted into left field. Javi Baqueta to his left. Has got a beat on it. Makes the two-handed grab. 1 down in the 4th inning. That'll send up Brady Beltine. Beltine struck out swinging his first time up. Ortega struck out 2 in the opening frame. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a changeup down in the zone. Has not had a strikeout since. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swung on and grounded to second. Beltran plays it off his body, drops it, picks it up, throws to first in time. And there's 2 down in the 4th inning. 2 down for Nick Jacobs. Jacobs grounded to short. As Isaac Linker made all 3 plays in that 4th inning. He is the shortstop for Mead. He's had some action today. The pitch. Fastball is on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1.
Tie it on back there.
Tanner Lease is on deck. And pitch. Swung on and foul. Straight back. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Jacobs. 2 down and the base is empty in the 4th. 3-0 Fort Morgan. And the pitch in the dirt. Count goes to 1-2. And let's see if he puts him away. The offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right, out of play. One ball, 2 strikes. A leisurely outing so far for Jacobs, throwing just 49 pitches in almost 4 innings. One ball, 2 strikes. And the offering. That is a called strike 3 on the outside corner. 3rd strike, Jacob, a 1-2-3 4th inning. Let's head to the 5th. Fort Morgan 3, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. Let's move to the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads Mead 3-0. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Mustangs. Linker, Ortega, and Javi Baqueta against right-hander Wyatt Zittison. And he's throwing about the same number of pitches as Jacob. He's got 61. Let's see, Jacob, I think, might have thrown a little bit more. Ortega's thrown. Oh, why do I only have 50? Maybe I was looking at the wrong guy. Oh, that's right. Jacob had 49. Okay, now, short-term memory. I'm having a senior moment. Jacob with 50 pitches. And the offering. Curveball is down and away. Linker popped to center in the first, single to left in his 2nd time up. That was in the 3rd inning. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd for Fort Morgan. Fastball is a strike. Letter high, it's 1-1. Jacob Ortega has held Mead to 1 hit. That was 2 innings ago when they had a shot to score. Was 1st and 2nd, nobody out. The pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a strike at the knees. 1-2. These teams will hook up again Saturday morning in Fort Morgan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Linker awaits the pitch. And he takes it a little bit low. Well, a tight take there. It's 2-2. Two balls and two strikes to Isaac Linker, leadoff hitter here in the fifth inning. Laying down the sign is McDaniel. And he kicks and delivers. Fastball is called strike three. Outside corner. There's some semblance of the outside corner. There's one down. One down, and Linker didn't like it, but it's pretty obvious that this strike zone is being stretched out horizontally. Linker thought it was a ball, but the Mustangs have gotten a call like that as well. One down for Alex Ortega. He doubled and popped out, 1 for 2. Wind and pitch. Breaking balls upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Javi Baqueta will hit next. Laying down the sign is McDaniel. And the 1-0. That is right there on the outside corner. Again, an extended corner. It's 1-1. One and one to Alex. One down. The base is empty in the fifth inning. The Mustangs lead 3-0. They had 2 in the first inning. And the off. And the breaking ball bounces away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Engineering and consulting services for all of your projects. Western Engineering Consultants. Get your project started the right way. Western Engineering Consultants. And fill up your cooler, gas up your car. Stubbs Gas and Oil. Easy and convenient. Make them the only stop you need on your way to the big game. Fastball is up and in. And the count now moves to 3-1. 3-1 to Alex Ortega. You know, the Mustangs, you think they need more. The way Jacobs pitching, 3 seems enough, but now when you're on the road, the pitch. Oh, what's he doing swinging at that? Jeez. Horrendous swing. That pitch was up and in. It was the same swing that Apple took when it looked like he should have gotten out of the way. If Alex just drops the bat, it's ball 4. But he's still alive in the count at 3-2. That ball was closer to hitting him than he was to hitting it. Come on, Alex, let's get it done here. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, lined, foul down the third base side. Well, here's the thing. When you're up 3-1 in the count, you're kind of anticipating something. If it's going to be in the strike zone, that's somewhere down the middle. But that one was up and in on Alex. Nonetheless, he had a great swing on that one, 3-2. One down and the base is empty in the fifth inning. Fort Morgan in the game has 6 hits. Ortega digging in. The talented senior right fielder awaits the pitch. And here it is. Swung on. That ball is lifted into foul territory down the left side. There might be a play along the fence, and it's out of play. And I think there he swung at ball 4 again. As giving chase was Velteen. So we'll do it once again. At 3 balls and 2 strikes. One thing Alex is doing is extending the pitch count. I think accidentally, but now it's actually working out to his benefit. 3-2. Ortega looking to get on. The wind and the offering. Curveball is lifted into left center field, but there's going to be a play out there in the gap for the center fielder, Caleb Ayers, and there's 2 down. He had him played perfectly. Alex hit it well, but again, with a slight shift. It was a routine play. Here's Javi Baqueta. Javi grounded a short and then lined it up the middle, caught by the shortstop Jacobs, and that would have been a base hit. However, Linker was taking off for second, which was the play. It was a hit and run, but the shortstop was right there. The offering and the curveballs down the middle for a strike. Thigh high, it's 0-1. It's been a very smooth game here for both sides. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Took a big swing at that one. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. With the bases empty here in the fifth inning. McDaniel sets up on the outside. Javi's got a swing if it's out there. And he does not, and he takes it for a called strike 3. I mean, exactly where the pitch was going to be thrown. That was painted perfectly. Javi strikes out looking. 1-2-3 inning for Wyatt Zittison. 4.5 complete in Longmont. Fort Morgan 3, Mead nothing on B106 and B106.com. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan holding on to a 3-0 lead. 1 hit only for Mead, and the pitch. And the changeup is low from Jacob Ortega. Pitch number 51, 5, 6, and 7. Tanner Lease, Ryan McDaniel, and Ethan Watkins. Lease grounded to short his first time up. And the pitch. That one is low. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Mustangs. No runs on 1 hit for Mead. They've made 2 errors. Mustangs are errorless. 5 left on base for Fort Morgan. Only 1 for the Mavericks. And the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Wow. Pulled a string on that one, diving in the zone. Jacob has no wasted energy. Excellent pitch. It's 2-1. The wine and offering. Swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. Long run for Hamer. It's going to drop right in front of him and then skip away to his right. But he picks up the baseball. That's going to be a base hit on a Texas leaguer. Hamer had one in the first inning. Now Tanner Lease for Mead in the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, nothing JP could do there. He got a good jump on that baseball, but it was hit in no man's land. Second hit for Mead. Here's Ryan McDaniel. McDaniel lined to short his first time up. It was a hard hit ball that Linker had to leap to catch. The pitch. And that is backhanded beautifully by Fajardo. It's 1-0. Fort Morgan turned a key double play in the 3rd inning. Can they do it again? Their defense has been really, really solid over the last several games. Short lead at first. And the 1-0. And the breaking ball is low and away. 2-0. Yeah, it was the next hitter starting with Watkins that got the rally started in the 3rd. That amounted to nothing for Mead, but you can only get away with that for so long. The pitch. That's down the middle for a strike with a fastball. Ball 2, strike 1. To Ryan McDaniel, the right-handed hitting catcher. Ortega acknowledges the sign. I think he might be going over to first base. Nope, he comes home. Swung on and line to Linker. Oh, base hit just underneath his glove, ranging to his left. It will be a base hit. Had he snagged that, it would have been a double play. It was hit that hard. But it is a clean base hit. Boy, Isaac nearly made the play to his left. But now that's 2 hits to begin the inning, and the tying run is at the plate, and Ethan Watkins, who walked his first time up. Like a good neighbor, Greg Mullen and his team at State Farm Insurance are there to make the insurance world easy for you. 842-4555. Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. The pitch squaring to bunt, and it's laid down the third base side, and the throw's going to be made to first, and the throw's going to be in time with Beltran covering. Sacrifice goes 1-4. Oh, and that was a close play because Ortega slipped a little bit. Excellent bunt executed over there by Ethan Watkins, known as the successful sacrifice. And second and third with 1 out for Zittison, who's got a base hit. Mead looking for their first run of the game, down by 3. And the pitch swung on and fouled back. Again, Ortega, not a strikeout pitcher. Had 2 in the first inning and only 1 since. We're in the bottom of the 5th. And the offering. And the breaking ball is down and away. And the count levels at 1-1 to the number 8 hitter, the opposing pitcher. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Jacob delivers. Swung on and tapped down the third base side, foul. Count moves to 1-2. All right, this is time for a big pitch. And the way Jacob does it is to get these hitters off balance. He's got a good enough fastball that if he goes upstairs, he might induce a pop-up here. Here he comes with a 1 ball, 2 strike pitch out of the windup. And here it is. And that fastball is high, but way too high. Fajardo had to stand to catch it. 2-2. At third is Lease. McDaniel at second. One out, bottom five. Fort Morgan leads Mead 3-0. The offering. Swung on, lined, base hit into center field. That will score one. McDaniel is going to step on third. He's going to be held right there. The throw's going to go all the way through, but Ortega's got it. Third base hit of the inning as Lee scores. Citizen with his second hit. It's 3-1 Fort Morgan. There's Lane Goodrich, who hit into a fielder's choice. Actually, he hit into the double play, I should say, his first time up. That 6-3 double play. Mustangs need another one, but let's see if Citizen's going to take off from first base. Yeah, Jacob hung that pitch, not his best location. Stretch. And the offering. Fastball's a strike on the extreme outside, and the fans don't like that when it's 0-1. No balls and one strike. Yeah, the outside corner is really being extended here. The offering. Swung on and grounded. Foul down the third baseline as Apple went diving to his right. Well, now you got to exploit that outside corner if you're getting it for the umpire. 0-2 to the right-handed hitter for Mead. With one out, one across, and two on. Lane Goodrich, the number 9 hitter. Boy, Jacob could use a strikeout right now. Setting up outside is Fajardo. And the pitch. That is a called strike 3. Wow. Wow, that's getting a big break. Way off the plate. Goodrich doesn't like it, I'm telling you. On both sides. This strike zone is being extended big time. And there's 2 down. That'll bring up Ryan Platt, who struck out and popped to center. 4 strikeouts for Jacob. And the pitch. And that is on the outside corner for a strike with a changeup. It's 0-1. No balls and one strike. Well, Jacob might survive this with only 1 run allowed. First and third. McDaniel at third. Citizen at first with 2 down in the 5th inning. Ortega comes home. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string again. It's 0-2. Platt tried to pull that way out in front of that pitch. Out of the stretch. No balls and 2 strikes. Short lead at first for Citizen. Bigger one at third for McDaniel. The offering. And he taps it foul off the end of the bat. That pitch was way outside, but he decided that, you know what? The outside corner is being extended. He's going to swing. So it stays at 0-2. Smart pitch there by Jacob. If you're Fajardo, though, you can't let anything by you with only a 2-run lead. Calling time now is Platt. No balls and 2 strikes. Jacob just dropped the ball, but he was not on the rubber. If not, that would have been a balk. And the pitch swung on and popped up. And who's going to make that catch? Norris to his right. The first baseman makes the grab. And that'll do it. Mead is done in the bottom of the 5th inning. However, they score for the first time in the game. They get 3 hits. No errors and 2 men left. To the 6th we go in Longmont. Fort Morgan 3, Mead 1 on B106 and B106.com. All right, right-hander Corey Bowes, the new pitcher here for Mead. Citizen goes to first base. Let's see if everything else remains the same. That might be, Ryan Platt still at second. 3-1 Fort Morgan in the 6th inning. Yeah, we're looking to see if there's another change, but those are the only changes I see out there with Corey Bowes and Citizen at first. Nick Norris, Connor Fajardo, and Austin Apple for Fort Morgan. 6, 7, and 8. Wow. Caught me by surprise here in the 6th inning. Fort Morgan again with a 2-run lead. They scored 2 in the first. J.P. Hamer single, stole second, and then Jacob Ortega drove him in with a base hit. Then Jacob got the second on the throw home, stole third, and scored in the throwing error by the catcher McDaniel. And then in the 3rd inning, J.P. Hamer led off with a triple and scored on a sac fly by Ortega. Norris in the game is 1 for 2, struck out looking and singled. And Bose delivers. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Tall, hard-throwing right-hander ahead in the count at 0-1. Here to Nick Norris. When it comes to your future, Northeastern is miles ahead in a college that's close to home, Northeastern. And see what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins, offering you a variety of banking needs, including agriculture and personal loans. All right, that's Miller pitching, no balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch, swing and foul tip. No, he dropped it. Oh, yeah, that's number 9. Check that. Britton Miller, yeah. Thought it was number 5 out there, so it's the right-hander Miller ahead in the count at 0-2. And the offering, and the bender is down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First hitter of the 6th inning. The second pitcher for Mead, Britton Miller, looks in for the sign from McDaniel. And the pitch, fastball is outside. And that was really outside. He had to reach out. But anything closer than that, that's going to be called a strike. And Nick Norris has to know that because he already struck out once. And again, it's an extended strike zone. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and tapped foul up the third base side towards the Mead dugout. So it's 2-2. Let's see, to Nick Norris. Followed by Fajardo and Apple. And Fort Morgan is out hitting Mead 6-4, outscoring them 3-1. And one of the differences, no errors for the Mustangs and 2 for the Mavericks. And the 1-2 pitch. That's in the dirt. Ball 3, strike 2. I had 3-2. I don't have that. Does he have that ball 4? Well, I had 3-2. Yeah, it should be 3-2. That's not ball 4. Norris is already at first base, but he's being called back. He must have lost track of the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nick Norris. Well, maybe he'll get the walk, but he needs to see one more pitch. Get a delicious treat, breakfast, or lunch option. Willow Coffee and Bake Shop, 921 Edison Street in Brush. Let's see if Nick gets a 3-2 ball and reaches first. The offering from Miller. That is outside. Oh, just outside. Very close. That time he walks. Whew. Boy, that has been called a strike. That's crazy. All right, here is Fajardo. Fajardo is 0 for 1. A pop out, a sac bunt with an error. The strike zone is really all over the place. It's a fluid zone. 2-step lead for Norris. Throw back to first, back in diving is the junior first baseman. Mustangs have led since the top of the first inning when they tallied 2 runs. Fajardo digging in from the right side. The stretch by Miller and the pitch squaring to bunt, and he pops it foul to the backstop. It's 0-1. Had a good pitch to bunt, too, but he dropped the bat handle a little bit too low, and he popped it straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Got to play the small ball if you're Fort Morgan, especially on the road. Both teams down to 6 outs here, but Mead is down to their 6 outs because Fort Morgan has the 2-run advantage. Norris off of first. Britton Miller gets the sign from McDaniel. And squaring to bunt again, and that's upstairs with a fastball. Boy, he's got to be bringing in the low to mid-80s there. 1-1. He's popping that glove. 1 ball and 1 strike. Connor Fajardo. Mustangs and Mead Mavericks will do this in less than 48 hours. Runner goes. Fastball swung on and lined into left center field for a base hit. Norris to second. He's got to hold up right there. That pitch was at around his eyes, but since it was a hit and run, Fajardo was swinging. That is one of Fajardo's probably best hits in his career. That pitch was up in his eyes, but he saw Norris taking off, and he shortened the swing as he masterfully has done before and lined it over the shortstop's head. and Getman will now run. That's a great job of hitting by the senior catcher, Connor Fajardo. I mean, making contact was one thing. Making solid contact was another. Making solid contact and finding a seam, but Norris could not advance even though he was taking off. That's how hard it was hit. Now Apple squares to bunt. He misses it completely. No balls and one strike. Norris back to second. Fajardo back to first. Apple has scuffled today. He's popped out and struck out. 0 for 2. Squaring the bunt again. And this one is popped foul behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Fort Morgan has had opportunities in this game. They've stranded 5. Mead has stranded 3. But they could have blown this game open when they had second and third and nobody out. A couple of innings ago, and then we had a strikeout and some bad base running. Scoring the bunt again, and he lays it out in front of the plate. Excellent bunt. The throw's going to be made to third. It bounces in and scooped up by the third baseman and out. That's just going to go fielder's choice, 2-5. That's a great play over there on a throw. One hopper to Velteen. That's a great play by the third baseman. 1 down. Same situation now with first and second. Nick Beltran is 0 for 2. Grounder to second and line to center. Again, Fort Morgan with 2 men on base. Need a big hit to extend the lead. They have not scored since the third. We're in the 6th. The pitch. Squaring to bunt, and he lays it down foul up the third base side on the breaking ball. Yeah, tried to paint that line way too much. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, with a pitcher, a hard-throwing pitcher falling off to the left side. That could have been a base hit with third baseman playing even with a bag, but it's 0-1. Fort Morgan has played okay with a small ball today, but they've missed some opportunities. And now Beltran calls time with Getman at second and Apple at first. And it wasn't a terrible bunt there by Austin, but a little bit more on it, and the throw would have been made to first. Beltran awaits the pitch, and that's down and away. Count levels at 1-1. At the very least, the only thing you don't want to do here is hit into a double play because you got Hamer on deck with a 3-1 lead in the 6th inning for Fort Morgan. The 9-hitter awaits the pitch, and the breaking ball's up and away. 2-1 to Nick Beltran. Getman off of second, Apple at first. Critical pitch coming up for Britton Miller of Mead. And the offering, and that is low and away. 3-1, went with a fastball there. Well, now let's see what happens with this particular pitch if Beltran takes, or he's going to be swinging away. Could Hamer get up there with the bases loaded? 3-1 pitch. That is low. It's a walk. That looked like it hit the bottom of the zone, but just below the knees, and Beltran did not sell that well at all. He was standing at the plate. You got to sell that and just take off for first, and it is a walk. And the bases are loaded for J.P. Hamer.
Let's check his vision.
And the Mead fans not happy about it. Now Hamer has singled, tripled, and walked with a 3-1 lead for Fort Morgan in the 6th inning. You've got Getman at third, Apple at second, Beltran at first. Third walk of the year issued to Nick Beltran. And this is the hitter you want up today, no question about it. And J.P. Hamer. Visit to the mound. Crystal clear ice, good for any drink any time of year. AC Ice. You can pick it up at any local grocery or convenience store in Northeast Colorado today. That's AC Ice. So here we go. The Mustangs can break it open. In the 6th inning, up 3-1. Fort Morgan hasn't had to do much in this inning. The big hit, the only hit, Fajardo's base hit, which was masterful. The stretch and the pitch. Hamer takes a breaking ball for a strike on the outer half thigh high. It's 0-1. Mead can really stay in the game here if they can get out of this. Out of the stretch with the bases loaded. Britton Miller looks in, and the offering. And that one bounces in, blocked by McDaniel, and the count levels at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hamer awaits the offering, and it went behind him on a breaking ball that didn't break at all. 2-1. That's an incredible play by McDaniel. He actually caught that behind Hamer. I don't think he knew where the ball was. He just stuck his glove out there. Not it would have been a wild pitch, and Getman would have scored. And the 2-1. And that one bounces in. Scooped up again. McDaniel's been a wall behind the plate. Now, what does JP do? We saw Ortega take a 3-1 swing on a pitch that almost hit him. And then he had a quality at bat but did not get on base. JP's got to be careful here. Don't swing at a pitcher's pitch. It's 3-1 with the bases loaded and a 2-run lead. The offering. And he swings and drills it deep into left field. Towards the track. Off the middle of the fence. Getman scores. Apple's around third. He will score. Beltran's going to be sent home. The throw to the plate. And he's going to slide in safely. It's a bases clearing triple. Hamer now breaks for the plate. The throw to slide. Safe. Hamer scores. It's a triple and a throwing error, and the Mustangs lead 7-1 in the 6th inning. Holy mahungus, what a play. Hamer with his 3rd base hit of the game, his 2nd triple. And Fort Morgan has broken it wide open in the 6th inning on a triple by Hamer. And then when the ball got away, because a good throw would have nailed Beltran, Hamer ended up scoring. Wow. Wow. And here's Jacob Ortega. Now he feels a lot more comfortable with a 6-run lead, and that pitch is low. Well, it was down the middle, and JP got every piece of that baseball and was able to score. Ortega's 1 for 3. The wind and pitch, and he swings and grounds it. A nice play by the 3rd baseman, a stab at a low throw, and it's kissed by Zittison. It'll be an error on the throwing error there by Veltine, the 3rd baseman. He made a nice play to his left, but it's the 4th error committed by Mead, the 2nd of the inning. And that'll bring up Isaac Linker. Linker has popped out, singled, and struck out. He's 1 for 3. So J.P. Hamer, I think even if Jacob goes the distance, we know the player of the game now. Hamer has just been incredible. And the offering. And that's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Mustangs with 4 in the inning, but even though they lead by 6, they're creating this like a 0-0 game. In this league, everybody can play well. 2-step lead for Jacob. The pitch. And the breaking ball is grounded to short. Jacobs has got it. Flips to second. That's 1. Throw to first. And that is 2. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Linker is doubled up. And the Bee Diggers, no, check that. The Bee Diggers are playing on 10-10. The Mustangs, are done in the bottom of the top of the 6th inning. I knew I'd make that mistake at some point. 4 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, and nobody left. 5.5 complete in Longmont. It's Fort Morgan 7, Mead 1 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Longmont at Mead High School. The Fort Morgan Mustangs lead the Mead Mavericks 7-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. J.P. Hamer just cleared the bases with a triple off the middle of that left field fence, and then he scored when the ball got away and a head slide first at the plate. Jacob Ortega is 6 outs away from going the distance for a 2nd straight start and generating his 5th win. It'll be 2, 3, and 4, Ayers, Veltine, and Jacobs. Caleb Ayers is 0 for 2. He's popped out twice. And the pitch swung on. That has popped up in a shallow left field. Long run. Linker is out. Here comes Hobby. He dives. It's a base hit. And Linker gets the ball in quickly. That Texas leaker is the 5th hit for Mead. And for Mead, that's the 2nd consecutive inning. They began with a little Texas leaguer, and that'll bring up Brady Veltine, who's 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded to second. Fort Morgan has turned 1 double play in this game. Jacob gets the sign. And the pitch. Swung on, lined, and caught by Apple to his right in foul territory. Throwing off his back foot to first, but back in there at first base is Ayers. There's 1 down. I think he caught that in fair territory, then ventured into foul territory because of the momentum of the baseball. But that was hit very hard the other way. One down for the number 4 hitter in Jacobs. Grounded to short and struck out looking. 4 strikeouts in the game for Jacob Ortega. Here's the stretch. And the offering. Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-step lead at first. And the pitch. That bounces in, blocked by Fajardo. 2-0. I think Coach Langford wants him to execute his pitches, but let him hit it. No reason to walk these hitters. With a 6-run lead. 75 pitches deep is Ortega. 2 balls and no strikes. And the offering. Swung on and lifted towards right field to his right. And going back as Ortega makes the catch. Alex initially misjudged it. Throw back to first. And back in at first base is theirs. There's 2 down. And not easy. That sun is right in the face of Ortega. 2 down in the 6th inning. For Tanner Lease, who's grounded out and had a base hit. 1 for 2. 7-1 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 6th inning. They just scored 4 in the top of the 6th. And the pitch. Breaking ball is popped up down the right field line. Long run for Ortega to his left. Still running along the line. Makes the catch. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 6 complete in Longmont. Fort Morgan 7. Mead Mavericks 1 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the 7th in Longmont. The Mustangs lead the Mead Mavericks 7-1. 4, 5, and 6 for Fort Morgan. Ortega, Baquera, and Nick Norris. You know, it's 7-1. It's been a good, solid game here. The only difference, well, not the only difference, but one of the main differences, the errors committed by Mead. 4 in the game, including 2 in the 4-run 6th inning for Fort Morgan. So here is Alex Ortega. Ortega's 1 for 3, doubled and popped out twice. Made a very nice play in right field and the bottom of the 6th inning as well. And that's the thing with Alex, even though he kind of misjudged that ball for the second out, he's such a solid athlete that he can make up for it pretty easily, which he did. Right-hander Britton Miller gets ready in the first pitch, and the breaking ball's inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan, 7 runs on 8 hits, 1 run on 5 hits for Mead. Mustangs have stranded 5, Mead has stranded 4. The pitch down and away, and the count goes to 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. The wine and offering, and that bounces in. 3-0, closing the book on the starter, Wyatt Zittison. He went 5 innings, 77 pitches. Struck out 4, walked 1, allowed 6 hits. And that ball hit him. Ooh, fastball in. And, boy, you could hear that thump right there in the back of Alex Ortega. First hit batsman by either side. Hit on a 3-0 pitch. And here is Javi Baquera, who was 0 for 3. Grounded to short, lined to short, and struck out looking on 3 pitches. Let's see if a bunt would not be bad. Javi's got the speed. He hasn't laid down a bunt in a while. Of course, he was second in the Tri-Valley in hitting coming into this game. Throw back to first, back in diving. Pretty close play there. Nice move there by Miller. So Ortega had to go back in, dive into the bag. 7-1 Mustangs here in the top of the 7th inning in Longmont. Temperature is maintained at about the 62-degree level. The pitch, that ball went behind him. How did McDaniel catch that? This guy's a wizard behind the plate. I don't know how he makes those catches. That's twice that's happened with Hamer up there on a breaking ball last inning and the fastball to Baquera this inning. And if you're Javi, how do you stay in that right-handed batter's box? Miller trying to establish a strike zone for Mead. 1-0. Swung on and tapped foul at the plate. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike to Javi Baquera. Bank of Colorado is the only bank dedicated to help you make the most of living here. Not just a bank in Colorado. Bank of Colorado. Proud supporter of local academics. 1 ball and 1 strike to Baquera. He might have hurt himself on that swing. I don't know if that part of the baseball got part of his body, which is why Coach Langford is speaking with him right now. All right, so at first base, Alex Ortega, nobody out in the 7th. 1 ball and 1 strike. The stretch, and the runner goes. Swung on, grounded foul up the third base side on the hit and run. Count moves to 1-2. Yeah, Hobb was not the starting left fielder, but he has earned it with his hitting. And that's what you do at the high school level. You have a starting lineup at the beginning of the year, and then coaches have to make adjustments based on productivity. The stretch and the offering. That's in the dirt, blocked by McDaniel again. Yeah, nothing gets by this guy. I mean, he's solid catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Norris will hit next. And if the Mustangs want anything to do about it, maybe more. Breaking ball is up and in. Ball 3, strike 2. Now, do you send, even though there's nobody out, do you send Ortega from first base? Ortega's got a 2-step lead. Britton Miller, the right-hander, at the belt. Runner goes. Swung on. That ball is lifted into foul territory down the third base line, and running out of room over there is Velteen. It remains at 3-2. But again, the runner was going. Josh Langford coaching very aggressively, even though he's up 7-1. And Ortega's throwing very well, but again, you can never use too many runs with some good teams in this league. So we'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ortega was hit by a pitch on a 3-0 count to lead off the frame. The stretch, and the pitch, runner goes, and that's in the dirt. It's a walk to Hobby. That'll bring up Nick Norris. We'll have a visit to the hill. And let's see what happens now. Yeah, let's see. If we have anything doing at this point. On this visit to the mound. So Norris is up there, and Nick Norris in the game is 1 for 2, struck out, singled, and walked. Conversation continues with Britton Miller, the right-hander. Well, that gives us a chance to tell you that Mr. D's Ace Home Center, a proud supporter of all the area athletes. They'll serve you with all your home, farm, and ranch supplies with 3 locations: Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. All right, Norris ready. So is Miller. Could be his last hitter if he doesn't retire him. Here's the stretch. Squaring to bunt, and that skips off the glove. McDaniel headed for third. The throw, and Ortega's in there. It'll be a wild pitch, even though McDaniel really kept that ball just a little bit off to his right, but the runners broke immediately.
Why don't we just call it a game?
So now it's 2nd and 3rd. And now Norris will not be bunting. No way. Norris is going to try to send one deep here. A stretch, and Miller comes home. Swung on and popped foul, not a play off to the right. The count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one. And the pitch. And the breaking ball's a beauty on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 to Nick Norris. Nobody out in the 7th. The Mustangs lead the Mead Mavericks 7-1. Britton Miller delivers. Curveball foul down the third base side. Count stays at 1 and 2. Slow moving 7th inning with Fort Morgan holding a substantial lead. McDaniel lays down the sign, the pitch. Swung on and lifted towards right center field to his right, and the ball's going to land for a base hit. Here comes Ortega. He will score. I thought the right fielder, Goodrich, might have had a beat on it, but the ball descended pretty quickly. And Nick Norris with a second hit. It's 8-1 Fort Morgan. It didn't have the trajectory I thought, and the Mustangs have extended the lead. Here's Connor Fajardo. Connor is 1 for 2, popped out, a sac bunt, and he singled. So Connor now steps in against the right-hander Miller. And Fort Morgan has had the first 3 on base with a hit batsman, a walk, and a base hit from Norris, who's done it, by the way, a nice job going the other way lately. Hit the 2-run homer to right field against Erie, then that base hit moments ago. Let's see, McDaniel might have, nope, just a signal issue there, not an equipment issue. Lots of conversations here in the 7th inning. All right, we got the Nuggets coming up on 1010 KSIR after the Bee Diggers Valley Vikings game that is ongoing.
I texted him, I was like, dinner's in the fridge.
Nuggets going for the series win up 3-2. Yeah, that game starts in just over about 10 to 15 minutes from San Antonio. The stretch, Connor Fajardo awaits the pitch, and he swings and pops it up. Got to get back to first base if you're Norris. The ball's going to be caught in foul territory by Zittison, and Norris goes diving back in head first, and there's 1 down. Connor now 1 for 3. That's the first out of the frame. Here's Austin Apple, who has popped out, struck out, and then tried to bunt runners over, but it ended up being a 2-5 fielder's choice. So he is 0 for 3 in the game. The stretch by Miller, and the offering, and the curveball is a strike as Miller fell. But it was an effective pitch, 0-1. Mead will concede a run for an out, but they are at double play depth in the middle. And the offering, and that one skips away, but not far enough for runners to advance. 1 ball and 1 strike, that is. 47th pitch thrown by Britton Miller. About a 50-50 strike-to-ball ratio right now. At third is Javi. Nick Norris at first. 8-1 Fort Morgan in the 7th. And the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Runner goes to second to throw the slide. And safe. No. It's a stolen base.
No way.
On the back end there for Nick Norris.
Well, this isn't the cheapest game I've ever seen.
So, 1 and 2 for Apple.
He just called it.
So, here we go with Austin Apple at 1 and 2. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on and lined and caught by the third baseman, Velteen. Runners back to their bags on a pitch that was down in the zone. And Brady went up and snagged that baseball, 2 down. Not hit very hard, but nearly was able to clear the third baseman. 2 down for Nick Beltran. Beltran is 0 for 2. Grounded to second, lined to center, and walked. Also scored in that 4-run 6th inning. The only left-handed hitter in the Mustang lineup. Swung on and hit into the air into left center field. A high pitch. You're not going to get on top of that. And it's a pop-out to the left fielder, Tanner Lease. And the Mustangs are done in the inning. Fort Morgan does score a run. And the Mustangs, let's see, they did that on 1 base hit, no errors, and 2 men left. To the bottom of the 7th we go. It's Fort Morgan 8, Mead 1 on B106 and B106.com. It's head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Fort Morgan leads Mead and Longmont 8-1. Jacob Ortega going for the complete game. Swung on and popped up into foul territory. Austin Apple looks like he might run out of room, reaches out, and he didn't run out of room, but it was beyond his grasp. And it is 0-1. 6, 7, and 8 for Mead. Ryan McDaniel, Ethan Watkins, and Wyatt Citizen. McDaniel's lined out and singled. Now it's pitch number 78 for Jacob. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch in the dirt skips to the screen, and the count levels at 1-1. Even though Fort Morgan has 8 runs, they are not in the double-digit hit column. They've got 9 hits, but they took advantage when they needed to. They have stranded 7. And the 1-1 offering swung on and fouled to the backstop on a pitch that was pretty high. It's 1-2. Here to Ryan McDaniel, has been very busy, but played a very well behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fajardo lays down the sign. And time is called. Back in the box now is McDaniel. And the pitch swung on in line towards right center field. Ortega to his right has a beat on it, leaps and makes the catch for the out. Alex Ortega with an athletic play out there. There's 1 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Ethan Watkins, who's walked and had a sac bunt, officially 0-for-0. Check that. That'll be Corey Bowes. We'll have a pinch hitter. Bowes will now hit for the Mead Mavericks with 1 out and the bases empty in the 7th. And Fort Morgan up 8-1. And the pitch down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan is slated to play on Monday as well. I don't know if that's going to happen with the weather that's coming in against Holy Family. The pitch. That's right there for a strike. Took something off it on the outer half just above the knees. It's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. And the offering. And the breaking ball's inside. Ball 2, strike 1. Mustangs established the momentum early in this game. And the pitch swung on, grounded left side, and that is going to be fair. The throw to first, and on a hop, and Norris stepped on the bag. It's out. On a 1-hopper, Norris backed up and caught it on a true hop. And Apple and Norris make the play. There's 2 down. Well, that's the way you play defense on both ends. Here's Wyatt Citizen. He's 2 for 2. First of all, I thought that ball was going to go foul, but it stayed fair along the line. 1 out away from his 2nd straight complete game. The pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan scored 2 in the 1st inning, and they haven't looked back. That's all they've needed. Ortega waiting for the sign. He's got it. The pitch. Breaking ball. Strike on the outside corner. And the count evens at 1-1. Again, 11 a.m. first pitch on Saturday morning. Of course, there's no such thing as 11 a.m. on Saturday night. So 11 a.m. Saturday. Foul to the backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Wyatt Citizen. It was a starting pitcher for Mead today. Jacob Ortega will deliver pitch number 89. Called strike 3. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs defeat the Mead Mavericks on a pitch on the outside corner. Final score, 8-1 in Longmont. 2 minutes. Back in 2 minutes on B106 and B106.com. Mustang post-game show brought to you by Morgan Community College. They're there to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. Morgan Community College. The Fort Morgan Mustangs improved to 5-4 in the Tri-Valley, 9-6 overall. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, winning in Longmont over the Mead Mavericks 8-1. 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors, and 7 left on base for the Mustangs. 1 run, 5 hits, 4 errors, and 4 left on base for Mead. The winning pitcher today was Jacob Ortega, going the distance for the 3rd time this season. The loss to Wyatt Zittison. Time of the game, 1 hour and 56 minutes, and the Mustangs wasted no time. J.P. Hamer had a single, stole second, would score on Jacob Ortega's single. Jacob got the second on the throw, and then he stole third and would score on an error by the catcher, Ryan McDaniel, and that made it 2-0. The Mustangs extended the lead to 3-0 in the 3rd inning as Ortega hit a sacrifice fly after J.P. Hamer tripled, his first of 2 triples in the game. Mead would get on the board, but that wouldn't happen until the 5th inning, even though the Mavericks had traffic earlier in the game, but they did get a Zittison RBI single, scoring Tanner Lease to make it 3-1. But then the big inning, the 6th inning, when the Mustangs scored 4 runs, when J.P. Hamer drilled a triple with the bases loaded, scored on that same play when the throw got away. He played at Getman, Apple, and Beltran, and then slid in headfirst to make it 7-1. The Mustangs added an insurance run in the 7th inning as Nick Norris got an RBI single, scoring Alex Ortega, and Fort Morgan wins the game by a score of 8-1. Time for the Mustang Player of the Game. It's brought to you by Transwest. They believe that customers are number one. Check out their selection online or just stop by one of their dealerships in Fort Morgan or Sterling today. Obviously, you've always got multiple candidates when you win a game like this, but what J.P. Hamer did, setting the tone at the top of the Mustang lineup, he was 3 for 3 with 2 triples, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. J.P. Hamer, the senior center fielder, is the Mustang Player of the Game. Mustangs back in action coming up on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, right here on B106 and B106.com in Fort Morgan against the same Mead Mavericks. Our sound engineer and producer doing another stand-up job today, Herrick Curtis. I'm John Beltran. The final score from Longmont, Fort Morgan 8, Mead 1 on B106 and B106.com.